It's week 11, which is absolutely insane, but here we are. And in this video, I have 4 underrated players you can start this week to absolutely smash and guarantee you that fantasy playoff spot. Let's get into it. Now, the first player that I have for you today is Jared Goff. It's been quite a strange season for Goff. He's currently the quarterback 17 on the season, which feels genuinely insane when you look at the fact that the Lions have been blowing out teams every single week. But a lot of that has been in the running game. And we've seen the fact that Amon-Ra St. Brown and certainly Sam Laporta have been quite disappointing for fantasy. And it's always really upsetting when you see, the Lions have put up 40 points this week. Let's see how Sam Laporta's doing. Oh, he caught 2 passes for 14 yards. That's great. This game has the joint highest over-under of the slate. They play the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Lions have the highest implied point total of any team, which is no surprise when you look at their offense. When you look at the Jags, they are the 4th worst team against the quarterback position. They're very vulnerable through the air. They're missing Tyson Campbell, who is probably their best defensive player, alongside Josh Hines-Allen, but definitely their best player in the secondary. They're very susceptible through the air. Now, the worry here is, again, like I said with Minnesota last week, which didn't really work out, that the Lions go up early and they score early on the ground, and then David Montgomery can just eat up the rest of the yards, and they can just cruise to a win. And I kind of debated having Lions as every single spot here. There are sort of 3 games that I wanted to target, 2 of which I'm going to come across later. But Jared Goff, this is absolutely a get-right spot. He's finished as a quarterback outside of the top 12 quarterbacks through the last 3 weeks, which feels genuinely insane because they've won all 3 of those matchups. But this is definitely a spot where you can look to start him, and hopefully one where he should be thriving through the air, as well as obviously the success that the Lions are going to see on the ground. Nick Chubb, it's been quite a disappointing year for him. Obviously, he missed quite a significant amount of time to start out the year, and then has finished outside the top 24 running backs all 3 weeks that he's played. Obviously, there was a bye week in there. That first week back was fascinating, though. You could just see they wanted to get him that touchdown. Nick Chubb means absolutely everything to this Browns organization that's been through a tumultuous time of their own doing through the past couple of seasons, but a very difficult time nonetheless. This is a get-right spot for him. They're playing the Saints, who obviously, as we've seen the past few weeks, you can run on the Saints, and you should run on the Saints. They have the 3rd highest yards allowed to the running back position, the 2nd highest fancy points allowed, just behind the Carolina Panthers. They're not playing this week, otherwise my running back start of the week is always just whoever's playing the Panthers. We saw that with Tyrone Tracy in this week just gone. Chubb is clearly the lead back. He's seen over 10 rushing attempts in the 3 weeks that he's played so far on the season. I think this is a get-right spot for him. The anytime touchdown bet for me is one that I'll definitely be hitting across the course of this week. But definitely, I think against a very vulnerable Saints defense, they're going to have some success through the air. But I think Nick Chubb, as the clear lead back in this offense, is probably on his way to some fancy relevancy, and it's about damn time. If you are enjoying this video and you want more like it, please consider dropping a like, dropping a comment, and subscribing to the channel. I will answer every single question that I get in the comments below. If you want to ask questions about dynasty trades, start sits, playoff schedules, anything towards the rest of the fantasy football schedule. We have just passed 250 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. And I would love if you would join me on that journey towards 300. But onto the wide receiver, and this is someone that I mentioned in my waivers video on Monday. Mike Williams was obviously traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers just before the trade deadline. He made his debut last week and scored a 35-yard touchdown in his only target and therefore his only reception of the game. Now, obviously, you can expect a higher target share and higher targets this week as a whole. It would be quite hard for him to get less than 1. Obviously, you can. 0 does exist. But you trade for these wide receivers for a reason. Deontay Johnson on the other side, I don't expect to be hugely involved, but that's quite a confusing one just in terms of buying a player for the comp pick. The Ravens defense in the secondary has been absolutely dreadful. And I didn't realize quite how bad until I looked into the metrics. So they've allowed the highest points, fancy points, the highest yards, and the highest amount of touchdowns to any wide receiver across any team in the NFL. That is genuinely insane. So this game I expect to kind of explode Ravens Steelers. This is the second one of the three games I wanted to target. The third one is the tight end. I think you might be able to guess what matchup that's going to be. The Steelers offense is getting much better with Russell Wilson at the helm, and more importantly, as you saw if you watch my waiver wire video, he matches up so perfectly with George Pickens and with Mike Williams. I expect him to do more in this game. I expect this to be a shootout, so massively back and forth. So the Steelers offense having to pass. George Pickens is going to get his. I think he's an absolute smash play this week, but Mike Williams as well. I would expect him to have a much better game. And again, that anytime touchdown number, I am kind of banking on. I think the odds are quite high at the minute, and I think it's pretty likely to happen. Mike Williams against the Ravens. I think this is going to be such a fun game, but maybe not as fun as the last game of the week. This is the matchup that everyone has been waiting for since that incredible playoff game a couple of seasons ago. The Bills against the Chiefs. Now, I don't expect this to explode in the same way that that game did. The offenses are just different. The Chiefs offense is just about keeping the ball and keeping the opposition off the field. If you have the ball, they can't score. You can with pick sixes, but Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw a huge amount of them. This game is going to be great fun, though. The Bills' offense is absolutely rolling, and that's the one that I've gone with for the tight end position here. This isn't Travis Kelce, this is Dawson Knox. So Dalton Kincaid is out for the game, which makes Dawson Knox a starting tight end. He's more likely to play as a proper inline tight end than Dalton Kincaid tends to. The Chiefs are allowing the second highest amount of fantasy points to the tight end position. This wouldn't actually interest me too much if it was Dalton Kincaid. He basically plays as a slot wide receiver and sometimes splits outside as well. But Dawson Knox is a big body tight end. He actually plays the tight end position. So this is much more exciting to me. With Kincaid out, Knox is far more likely to see a higher target share. This game, as you know is going to be fun. It has a very high over-under, joint highest on the... I think it's second highest on the slate. So there's definitely going to be chances for touchdowns. If it does end in the shootout that people want it to be, there's going to be touchdowns all over the place. And Dawson Knox has a history of scoring a fair amount of them. So this is someone that is available in quite a significant amount of leagues, over 75% of leagues in Sleeper that he's available, although he is being picked up across the board because people want to target this matchup. And this is what you should be doing as well. You need to be looking at those incredible matchups to be getting the best fantasy points from. Just look at Ravens Bengals last week. There's absolutely opportunity there when there's high over-unders to be able to go and pick up players that are going to score a huge amount of points. And I think that could be Knox this week, and he's very available off your waiver wire. Relatively short one today, but those are my 4 underrated starts of the week. I hope you've enjoyed this video. There are so many fun matchups to be enjoying in week 11. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like and a subscribe. And as I said earlier, feel free to drop any comment in the comment section below. I will answer every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you massively enjoy those 3 matchups, every other matchup you get to watch. My Rams probably losing to the Patriots, and I will see you in week 12.